understand the whole topic. It is very big topic. Is here question of 5 marks. So bacteriophage and plasmid DNA. Plasmid DNA is a extra chromosomal DNA in the bacterial cell. So bacteriophage and plasmid DNA can act as a natural cloning vector. So here in the board there is a question, why bacteriophage and plasmid use as a vector. So answer in one line is their origin support high copy number, and this is what it is written, that bacteriophage and plasmid, both of them are their origin support high copy number, means one or two copies can be there in per cell, or otherwise 15 to 100 copies per cell can also be there, and their number even can go higher. And if we able to link the aligned DNA with bacteriophage or plasmid, then this aligned DNA will also multiply along with the bacteriophage and plasmid. So the aligned DNA will also increase equal to the number of plasmid or bacteriophage, so that we can make the multiple copies of the aligned or foreign DNA. That's why they are used as a vector. So vector used at present, now these are the natural vector. Question number 1 is over. Again I am repeating, why bacteriophage and plasmid use as a vector. Answer is given here, because their origin support high copy number, so their copies can be 15 to 100, or if any aligned DNA is ligated with them, will also multiply along with the plasmid DNA or bacteriophage. So the foreign DNA number will again multiply as is the number of plasmid or the bacteriophage, so that they are used as a best vector, natural vector. But nowadays the genetically engineered vectors are also available, and they help in easy linking of foreign DNA and selection of recombinants from the combinants, recombinations and the recombinants and non-recombinants. So what are recombinants and non-recombinants we are here discussing. In one line we can say that those have got transformed, they are called as recombinant. Those have not got transformed, genetically engineering has not been taken place, so they are non-recombinants. Now here there is shown a one vector, and its name is PBR322. This vector is a genetically engineered vector. Okay, nowadays as I am saying that the vector at present are engineered in such a way that they help easy linking of foreign DNA. So PBR322 is one genetically engineered vector is there. We are going to discuss its structure. But first of all, we are to see the full form. P means plasmid, B means Bolivar, and R means Rodriguez. So what is this? PBR322 is an example of cloning plasmid, which is regarded as workhouse for gene cloning. Okay, whatever the gene will ligated to this vector will also makes its clone along with the vector, because vector can multiply very fastly and can make its 15 to 100 copies or more than that. So this is the first artificial cloning vector constructed in 1972 by Bolivar and Rodriguez in the form of PBR322. P for plasmid, B for Bolivar, R for Rodriguez, and 322 is the number. And this is the first artificial plasmid which was been constructed by Bolivar and Rodriguez. So this is one thing, and which we are taking up here in detail. So in this plasmid, this ORI is the origin of replication, which we are here going to discuss, that what is origin of replication. Origin of replication is that where any piece of DNA can be linked. This is the sequence. Origin of replication is a sequence where any DNA can be linked and can be replicated within the host cell. And this origin of replication actually also controls the copy number of the linked DNA. so that the cloned in the vector whose origin support high copy number will be considered as a good vector. So this is number one, origin of replication where foreign DNA can be ligated. Now the second is selectable markers. So this is selectable marker. This is again selectable marker. So here they have given the restriction sites. So these are the restriction sites for what? This is tetracycline resistant gene. This is ampicillin resistant gene. And this is origin of replication. And this ROP represents the protein of replication. This ROP, here it is written the full form. ROP codes for the protein involved in the replication of the plasmid. Full form even can be asked. Okay, so now we are here coming to the selectable marker. Selectable markers actually help to identify or eliminate the transformant from non-transformant. So transformants and selectively permitting the growth of transformants only, because the transformant suppose has become antibiotic resistant, as we have linked the antibiotic resistant gene to them, so they have transformant. If transformation as it is given is the process which in the piece of DNA is introduced into the host bacterium. Here they have taken the example that suppose the genes encoding for antibiotic resistant like ampicillin resistant or chlorophenicol resistant, tetracycline resistant or caramycin resistant. If two E. coli bacteria which is not resistant to these antibiotic, if we want to make it resistant to these antibiotic, then genes encoding for these antibiotic are to be linked to the plasmid of E. coli bacteria, or which is to be prepared outside, and then it is to be introduced into the E. coli bacteria, so that E. coli bacteria which is a host cell will now become antibiotic resistant, so that now it will be called as transformant. I think you may be getting कि we want to make the E. coli cell resistant, so that we are to introduce this genes encoding for antibiotic resistant. Which antibiotic? Ampicillin tetracycline. We want to make the E. coli for these, for resistant to these antibiotic, so that we are to introduce the genes which makes E. coli for resistant to these antibiotics. So this gene can be introduced with the help of plasmid DNA, so that this E. coli will become transformant now. Now it comes the cloning sites. Cloning sites are actually the recognition sites where the restriction enzyme will cut the plasmid DNA. Again there is a question, why only one recognition site should be there? There should be one recognition site. If many will be there, then the vector will generate several fragments, and which complicates the gene cloning. So that only one restriction site should be there to bind the restriction endonuclease enzyme, which is a molecular seizure, whose function we have already discussed. Now it is here again they are taking up example. The ligation of aligned DNA is carried out at a restriction site present in one of the antibiotic resistant gene. For example, they are here taking कि one DNA is ligated at BAM-H1 site of tetracycline resistant. These are the genes whose restriction sites are these. So this BAM-H1 is a restriction site of tetracycline resistant gene. If any foreign DNA is ligated to this tetracycline resistant site, restriction site, then this plasmid will lose the resistance for tetracycline. Okay, but it will be resistant to all other antibiotic like ampicillin. Now this plasmid DNA, the organism or bacteria with this plasmid DNA will be now grown or plated. This is called as plating. Will be plated into two medium. One is the ampicillin medium, and other is the tetracycline medium. So which is the transformant will only grow in the ampicillin medium, but will not grow in the tetracycline medium, because tetracycline resistance is lost due to the ligation of foreign DNA. But another non-transformant in which the foreign DNA is not ligated will grow both in ampicillin and tetracycline medium. That way we can differentiate the transformant to the non-transformant. Here the last line is written that one gene selecting the transformant whereas other antibiotic resistant gene गेट्स इनएक्टिवेटेड ड्यू टू इंसर्शन. इंसर्शन किसका किया है? फॉरेन डीएनए का टेट्रासाइक्लिन रेजिस्टेंस पे. सो दैट टेट्रासाइक्लिन रेजिस्टेंस हैज लॉस्ट, सो दैट द बैक्टीरिया विल नॉट बी एबल टू ग्रो into the tetracycline but will be able to grow in ampicillin. That way we can differentiate the transformant to the non-transformant. But this method of plating is quite lengthy, so that another method is developed which is a small method, and that is called as method 2. This method 2 is called as insertional activation. In this again what is there? Suppose a bacteria which has chromogenic substrate, and so that it produces color when it is been stained, and there is a enzyme beta galactosidase, and this is the enzyme which is required for the, actually it is having the coding sequences, and for that it produces the color when it is been stained. But if any DNA is ligated to this enzyme, so this will result into the inactivation of the enzyme, and this is called as insertional activation. So presence of the chromogenic substrate gives the colored colonies if the plasmid in the bacteria does not have any insert. अगर उस एंजाइम के साथ में कोई इंसर्शनल एक्टिवेशन नहीं हुआ, इनएक्टिवेशन, नो फॉरेन डीएनए इज लिगेटेड, तो that bacteria will possess chromogenic substrate and plasmid, it will produce the color. And presence of insert, if DNA is inserted, so it will result into insertional inactivation of this enzyme beta galactosidase, and the colonies do not produce any color, and this is identified as recombinant colony. Which is not producing color is a recombinant colony, because in that insertional inactivation is been done by ligating the foreign DNA to the coding sequence of this enzyme. So this method is called as insertional activation. So these are the two methods by which the transformant to non-transformant or recombinant to non-recombinant can be differentiated. Along with this, we have already discussed the structure of the plasmid DNA, which is a extra chromosomal DNA. Thank you, and it is a question of 5 marks.